simpler. Ask the ladies to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, we can do that. Go ahead. What about you?
I think like a 7.5, 8.
Okay.
I think I'm a 10
Wait,
in the
can we
Midwest.
just have you scoot into the table so you're not like leaned back?
Depends on the city. In LA,
Yeah.
the number goes down.
Okay. In let's say you're in like a international hub somewhere. I don't know.
international hub?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Like LA, for example. I don't on a good day, a solid, like a strong 8.
Okay.
I would call myself a 10, but that's because no matter who it is, like no one's ever gonna think I'm the prettiest girl, or like there's always gonna be somebody that thinks I'm ugly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna call myself a 10 and be happy with that.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
Not everybody
sure.
likes me, not everybody has to.
Okay, we'll let everybody answer. Go ahead.
I'd give myself an 8.
If I was down south or in the Midwest, I'd be Beyonce. But here in LA, you feel me? It really just depends on what part of, well, we're in Santa Barbara, but I'm from LA, I'm from the hood. So in the hood, I'm definitely a 10. You feel me? But when you go to Beverly Hills, stuff like that, you fat, you got a belly, little fupa, then yeah, your number go way down. So Beverly Hills versus the hood, let me know.
Okay.
More to love, baby. More to love. I would rate myself like a 7 or an 8.
Okay.
I'd probably give myself a 6.5 or a 7. I think it depends on the city and state too. Like in Florida, maybe like a 7, but here in California, maybe like a 6.5.
Yeah, I think I'm 6.5. I think that's about accurate. You guys are kind of changing my mind.
Little
I think
closer
he has
to
a
Mike.
low ball in, but
I was gonna say like a
Some real
7 or
beautiful
8, but I'm gonna go with an 8.
I say 5. I think I'm an average chick. No, I
Not
don't.
pretty, no.
What? That doesn't mean. I don't think there's anything wrong with
and we're
average.
talking about looks alone.
Looks
Yeah,
alone.
just
Not
looks.
over
No, I mean,
rating.
I mean, I think like there's nothing wrong with being average. I think if you take 10 girls at the table, like half of us probably are average.
Yeah. I think no one wants to be like honest with
The thing is,
themselves.
and just
to
because
be
you're not
people, like,
saying you're a 10 doesn't mean you're not confident either.
Yeah,
There's a difference
fact,
between
fact.
realistic and just
Yeah.
not confident.
I agree completely.
Yeah, I don't know why like we live in this society where average is seen as a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like most
Yeah, it's
people
just-
are average.
most of
Not
us are.
everyone can be like.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if you're an 8, that means you're in the top 20% of beauty. You should have had top 20% of beauty results. So that means I don't know, modeling contracts. I don't know, eligible top 20%, 10% men in your DMs or I
Have
don't
you
know,
seen
but
them?
not just like taking you seriously. But go ahead.
There's also been beauty studies they've done where they've like had 8 faces lined up of different like kinds of beauty, supermodel beauty with the chiseled features, and like what people
Yes,
actually
it's-
find most beautiful is most familiar. So it's like more the girl next door look that was actually rated the most beautiful.
Or even like somebody, like I've noticed like the more that I've been around couples, people tend to date people that kind of resemble them or someone that they love, like their mom or something.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. Again, it's probably the familiarity thing that she just pointed out. But I've continued to notice more and more that since being in LA that a lot of people tend to date people that kind of look a little bit like them. So
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that necessarily like it's the beauty standard. It's just
Well,
they see beauty in each
Beauty
people see
is. I'd
in
like to say
anything,
that
yeah.
beauty is not subjective; it's objective. There's been many studies. Like people tend to find the same things attractive. Like people might have like certain types where it differs a little bit, but in general, like it's not subjective. It's
Yeah, and every
Also,
man, woman,
do
and
you
in
think it differs
between
on
is
what's
someone's
popular
type.
at the time.
not
Oh,
really.
true.
It absolutely
Yeah, I
does.
think it
It
Look
depends
at
on the
Kardashian
country, too.
effect.
Because I didn't want to
Beauty
get lip
standards.
fillers until like 3 years ago when it became popular to have big lips, and as someone like
Yeah, and I was
But
bullied for my
I
big
feel
lips
like-
growing up until it became like people were getting lip injections.
But I feel like that's why I
your-
call
Yo,
myself
fix
a
that,
10, 'cause
man.
I'm not going to
Hold on.
base what I think of myself on what anybody else thinks of me. I look in the mirror every day and I like what I see.
Yeah, but that's
So-
delusional.
100%.
though.
But it's-
like we have
but
to,
it's
we have
true.
to. we
I
have
like
to
what I
have
see in the
reality.
mirror. So
Like,
in
we
my
just gotta-
mind,
Okay, then
I see
okay
myself
in
as
my
a 10.
mind, in
I'm
my
not
mind,
saying that you have to see
in
me
my
as a 10.
mind,
You
in
might
my
see me as a
mind,
3.
in
It
my
doesn't
mind,
change
I'm a
how
millionaire.
I see myself,
In my
though.
mind, I'm a millionaire and a PhD in my mind, and I feel like that, so therefore I am.
That's a
But just
little
because
different.
you
Depends
like
on the
what-
country,
just because
too.
you
There
like what you
are-
see in the mirror, also that
Yeah,
doesn't
but
mean that
that's-
you're a 10. A 10 is saying you are absolutely perfect. So you're saying you don't have any acne, your hair is perfect every single day, like you're in the best shape of your life. You're saying you have absolutely nothing that you think you can improve on yourself.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that I would consider myself a 10. I don't know what other people would call me.
I think maybe you're thinking
You
of different
know?
categories because objectively, the golden ratio is a measure of facial symmetry, and it is objective. You can look at someone's face and see how closely they match. And so I think when a lot of people say it, what they're talking about is this is how I measure up to this ideal standard of beauty. Though I do think
Yeah.
you're right. Over time, or whoever said that, over time, society does value different aspects of women's beauty as time changes.
Yeah,
And things
it's
are
just
very
I know for a
But
fact
all
that
of
not
the-
everybody's going to
remember,
find
all
me
the
beautiful.
media-
Some people will,
Women-
some people
women
won't. So
make
at the end of the day,
70.
I'm going to go with what I like. And
But
I
women
like
make,
how I look.
remember, women make 70 to 80% of consumer buying decisions. So all the media is marketed towards women. It's not for men. What men likes really has not changed.
More
I
natural
don't
usually.
see, but I said earlier, like it really does depend on the country and it does depend on where you're living because it's a lot different in America than it is in Israel. I lived in
Right.
Israel for over 4 years, and the beauty standards there are
Wildly different.
completely
yeah.
different
Right.
than
Yeah,
here.
100%.
Asian countries as well.
When I
mean,
got
everything.
back here,
I've seen, yeah.
when I got back here, I went and I wanted a nose job right away as soon as I got back. I went and got Botox. I went and got lip filler. I didn't feel beautiful here by beauty standards at all. But when I lived in Israel, I was very confident and I felt great because there they don't care about those beauty standards.
Right.
They
Right.
don't
I need
care
to go
about
there.
that.
No, but,
Might have
they've
been
done
married by now.
they've done studies on this, like with men all over the world.
I mean, I
And-
lived there firsthand.
I mean, I've
so
lived.
I
Okay,
saw
I've
it.
lived in Germany. I've lived all over the world too, so we could go back and forth in the I lived game. But in general, men tend to find the same things attractive.